Styles, and today we are on the new set of Keep It Real or Just Keep It with your host Khrys Styles. Today's show is about the art of being a woman. I know you think we're born into just being a girl or a boy, but there's an art to actually making things happen and getting what we want. So we have author Azizah Nubia on the set with us with her new book, The Art of Being a Woman, with every tool that you need to achieve and create the life of your dreams. All right, now that's what's up. I mean, welcome to the set.
Thank you for having me.
You are more than welcome. This book, this book. Okay, first when I saw the book, now as a chick, I'm gonna look at the book and be like, I don't think there's anything in here I'm possibly interested in.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you got a lot of that. But then once you get the book and you understand the content, it's like, oh, ding! It's like an aha moment. Like, I get it, and I need this.
Needs this book.
Yeah, we need this book. So, first of all, what made you come up with this?
Well, I've been working on that book for the past 3 years.
Okay.
It's actually much bigger, but since it's so big that we decided to break it down into 3 parts. So this is the first part of a series of 3. And the whole point of it, the whole concept of the book was to really, we are not, as women, society, school, education, our parents, like we are trained to be something that we're not. And that's a lot of the reasons why so many women are in the situations we're in, as far as being unhappy, feeling like we are not reaching our full potential. There's so much more that we want to do, but we don't know how to do it. Then we're in a society where men dominate everything, so we're just told to sit in the back, be quiet, be the mommy for the babies, be the wife to the husband. But it's so much more to us than we are being told. And I took this book as a way to introduce women to who they really are and how much potential we have and how you can use it, based upon my experience as being a woman, and then a lot of the women that I've met through my journey. I just put all of that knowledge, all of that information into a book to really just help us, have something that can teach us how we can become better from a female perspective.
I respect that, and I think what I want to ask you is, what makes you qualified? You know what I mean? Why should Jane Joe on the street say, you know what, I'm gonna get this book by Azizah because I know she either what do you have to back up your credentials?
Well, my experience. For people who have followed me just since I've been present on social media or internet, I was a mother at 16 years old.
Okay.
So I started off that statistic. If you're 16 years old, you're pregnant, you're not going to finish high school. I guarantee you're not going to go to college. You're going to be on welfare, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to have more babies following after that. So I had to deal with that. I've been in the welfare system. I've been been in physically abusive relationships. I've been cheated on. I have experienced so much within my 28 years of life that I feel that I have enough experience to share just some information. And then when I had I always tell people I had a spiritual awakening back in 2008 when I had my daughter. So I was his mother at 16, didn't have another baby till 6 years later when I got married. But so I didn't fall into that statistic. But when I had my daughter, I had a spiritual awakening to where I was just exposed to a lot of information that wasn't common with the masses of people. Things about spirituality, about the unknown. And from that experience, I have been blessed with so much information, blessed to meet so many people who tell us this type of information. So I don't want to look at it as I'm qualified to tell you this stuff. It's just somebody needs to be writing this information down. Somebody needs to be able to tell it and to pass it back to the next person. Because if you look at the world today, the world is missing the touch of a woman. If you look at it, it's so cold, it's so hard, people are dying, people are sick, and a lot of times they're not going to tell you this. In our human history, we have so many female rulers and female women of power that had peace throughout nations, who was able to solve issues as far as world hunger, but we never hear about that. And so this book and who I am and what I do is kind of like a way to bring that presence back to the world. So.
And I know when I asked you that question, it came off as a challenge. I was listening to it like, And honestly, I mean, with the things that we do, life experience to me oftentimes is more credible than you know, getting somebody's degree. Because there's only so much that they're going to teach you out of a book. Life experience and hands-on experience really makes the difference. So that wasn't to be a challenge. That was, I just wanted you to put it out there because Azizah also has a magazine, Natural Woman magazine, where she is required to do research on certain subjects. She is required to interact with different women from all walks of life, from you know what I mean, from the highs and the lows. And so all of that information and everything that she's learning is compiled in her series of books. So I just so I'm flipping around. So I'm not throwing shade. I'm not hating or anything like this. This is my girl. I've come to respect her, and yes, she is my junior, I guess you could say, because she's so much younger than I am. But I've learned so much from you. So I'm just really grateful that you even allowed me an opportunity to discuss this book with the world, as opposed to somebody else who is not Khrys Styles. But and the format with Keep It Real or Just Keep It, women, we need to know what's going on. Now, I know we kind of touched on the cover and everything, but when this came out, you got a lot of flack about this sexy Azizah Nubia that I don't normally see, but now the whole world can see her because she's right here on the cover of this book. But yeah, you got a lot of flack about that.
I got so much flack. I wasn't expecting that, you know, and it did open my eyes to like, wow, people just perceive things differently, because I was expecting people to be like, oh wow, that sister, she, you know, she got 5 babies and she looks like this and she's trying to empower people. But the message was totally different. I had people telling me that I sold my soul and I sold out, you know, doing a type of cover. I degraded myself. I'm trying to appeal to, you know, men and sell sex. But
you selling sex, but to women.
Exactly. I said, this is a book, the book is for women. So I don't expect men to want to pick it up and read it. Of course, please do and give it to your daughter, but there's nothing in the book that could really help a man besides understanding a woman. So the
which
book
they need to do. So guys, get 2 copies. Get 2 copies because you're gonna lose one, but you need to get 2. Seriously, men definitely need to learn more about us.
Yeah. So I got a lot of people empowered and embraced the cover, and it's usually the people who follow me and know me, who know what I'm about, and then the people who don't, and then they saw it, they were like, oh my gosh, she is the Jezebel of 2015.
And you mentioned that in your book about being yourself, being who you are, and that is so important. I believe that I would be a totally different woman had I embraced who I am a long time ago. I was raised by my grandma, and you know, back then everything was just like, you know, this is the way to do it. Old school is always going to be the only school. There is no new, you know, and things like that. So it took a long time for me to, I guess you could say, come out of the closet. Come out from, you know, and just be who I am, accept who I am and be okay with that, and you know, whatever to all the naysayers. So you touch on that in the book as well. So there's a lot of things that you touch on about being, you know,
comfortable in your body. You know, the cover was very empowering for me because it felt like I was a grown-up. It sounds weird because I'm 28, but I felt like a grown woman because I was empowered by my beauty and my sexuality versus using it to try to sell something. You know, I felt, you know, comfortable in that, to say, this is me, this is what I'm representing for all the sisters out there. And so it was very empowering, but it was just very difficult hearing the mixed responses I received because of the book. And you know, people can still have and believe what they say, but the ultimate goal and the intention behind the book is to uplift and empower women. And if anybody has an issue with how I look on the cover, then you should question your own sexuality, because there's nothing on the cover of the book besides my beautiful, gorgeous legs that are, you know, just out there.
Tell her, she said her beautiful, gorgeous legs.
That can make you think that, wow, this book is degrading.
You know, and as a woman, they do need to rethink that. If you are a female and you look at this cover and get offended when it plainly says the art of being a woman, it's not saying learning about the oldest profession. You know what I mean? It's not teaching you how to, you know, walk up and down Vine Street or whatever your main strip is in your city. It is supposed to be empowering. So if you got a problem, then you really need to read the book. How about you just rip the cover off and then just, you know, just start in the middle like this. You know what I mean? You don't even have to look at the pictures. It's not a picture book.
Yeah, no pictures.
So I'm just saying, you know, I just feel like women, and I grew up, you know, and I know many of us did. If you have any self-confidence whatsoever, if anybody's ever told you cute, then apparently somebody else sees that you're cute and they mad about it.
Yeah.
So as women, we grew up feeling there was always a challenge, always some sort of competition with the other chicks or whatever, or she's light skinned or she's got long hair or whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna lie, I had insecurities and I had many issues, and I had people who didn't like me, but I was like, I don't know why, because my teeth crooked, you know, I'm overweight, everything is wrong with me, so why would you be jealous of me? Yeah. What is there to be jealous of? But everybody has their own demons.
Yeah, and that was a big thing throughout my life experience, the fact that it's so crazy that I ever did anything like this or doing the work that I'm doing now, because I was so uncomfortable with how I looked. I always knew I was beautiful, I always knew I was pretty, but I was tormented growing up by a lot of girls in school. I didn't really have too many friends, and I had a lot of just crazy stuff happened, so it made me not even like the fact that I was pretty, because my mother always would tell me like being beautiful can be a curse sometimes. Yeah. And so I used to downplay how I looked. To dress, you know, I didn't like when people hollered at me. I didn't know how to accept and work with my beauty. And I have a chapter in the book where it's just strictly about how you use your beauty as a tool. It's really a gift that we have as women, beauty, and we use it the wrong way. A lot of times and programmed to use it the wrong way, but you can actually use your beauty to enhance, you know, the world, you know, beautify the world. That's our purpose. And so, you know, it's really a deep thing, especially with the competition with women hating, but it's really, the book is to help you become the best woman that you can be.
It's not like that. I mean, there's something called sex magic.
Yes, some people call the term sexual, you know, sex magic, tantric sex. There's so many different terms. If you get into the Indian tradition, Middle Eastern, not the so-called Indians here in America, I don't even know why they come up with that term, but they do. But they have, you know, they are one of the cultures that really talk about it. And, you know, some of the ancient Chinese traditions, they still honor and understand the spirituality of sex. And, you know, you can learn and talk about it. But I do have a chapter in the book called How You Can Use Your Sexual Energy to Bring Things to You or to enhance your life. You know, because sexual energy is creative energy. It's pure raw creative energy. We were all brought here to this planet through the act of sex because of our parents, and you know, we just think that sex is about making babies and getting off, but you can actually use that energy to put towards your goals, to put towards your dreams, to help even heal your body from sickness. You can use your sexual energy.
It sounds a little weird.
It sounds weird.
Something like that.
Well, the way you do it is, you know, the feeling that you get when you have, you know, the horny feeling. Basically.
Okay, I know that feeling.
That's sexual energy. That's the energy that you're feeling. Okay. And so when you're in the act of having sex, and I do, in the book, I do point out it's best when you're practicing to start off by yourself. Because when you bring a partner in, it can be somewhat distracting and you may not get to the goal that you want to get to. Okay. So practicing it by yourself, and when you get that feeling, and it's that sexual energy, you can feel it moving with, you know, throughout your body. And the thing about this is you have to clear your mind. A lot of times when it comes to sex, women were thinking about, oh, how do I look? Do I smell right? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And because of that, you know, we're in our thoughts. But when you clear your mind, you know, you get into your mode, you're feeling good, you feel that sexual energy, you know, you allow that energy to just radiate through your body. So while you're in the act of either having sex, masturbating, you need to be thinking about the things that you want to manifest.
Okay. So you said masturbating. Hold on. Let's go back. Okay. You have to read the book to understand why. I'm like, you explain this to me. Okay. So I'm going through the book, and there's this part that's telling me, you know, close your eyes and you know, touch lightly and gently, and so the first thing that came to my mind, I'm like, is she giving me a tutorial on masturbation? You know, what is this? And I'm reading it, and then to me, the steps, I mean, okay, they sound good, but Lord have mercy, I swear it sounds like way too much work. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. You like put your tongue up here and then breathe in, and then I'm like, that's too much thinking for me. I can't do it. So when you're reading it, and when you're
first introduced with the information, yes, it seems like it's a lot, but that's where practice comes in. That's why you don't bring in a partner the first time. You read about it first and then practice with it sometimes.
So we're not masturbating because we don't orgasm. Your book said you're not orgasm.
The goal is not to, a lot of times we jump into sex and boom, the orgasm. But the orgasm is the most powerful part in the act. And so that should be, you should, I say, build your energy up, build the sexual energy up. Don't be so quick to orgasm, because at the point of orgasm, that's when you focus all of your thoughts, all of your intentions, all of your energy into that thing that you want that sexual energy to go towards. So at the point of orgasm, I'm thinking, Natural Woman Magazine, million subscribers. At that point, that energy is going into there, and then once you do it, you just let it go. And that's how sex. Because a lot of times, say for instance, when you're having a baby and you're having sex, a lot of times as women, we're thinking, please, I don't want to have a baby. I don't want to have a baby. While you're having sex.
Oh, you don't want to get pregnant?
Yeah, I don't want to get pregnant.
Okay.
9 times out of 10, because of law of attraction, which is another part in the book, you're going to get pregnant. Because the universe doesn't understand, or it does understand, but it doesn't care about what you don't want or what you want. It's going to give you what you're thinking.
It's like
about.
The noun of the whole thing. The noun is what makes the sentence. So, when you say church, you're going to be thinking church. Not,
Yeah.
So I understand.
So exactly at that point. And so a lot of times we get a lot of unwanted pregnancies because we don't even know how to use this energy effectively. And then, the same way for women who want to have babies. They're having sex and wanting to have a baby, but deep down they're afraid, what if I don't get pregnant? What if it doesn't work? And then you're not going to get pregnant because it's running off of what you're thinking. A lot of times we're having sex, we're thinking about how we're going to pay the bills the next day. What's going to happen? I'm in debt. We're bringing all that sexual energy into our situations to create more of the same old.
So we can use the law of attraction through sex. Mm-hmm. Now I've been guilty or accused of thinking too much during sex. So if we're supposed to be focusing our energies on something, that to me comes across as thinking too much during sex, and maybe it's just because I was thinking about the wrong things. Maybe I was thinking about if he felt that extra roll of fat on my whatever or something. So there is a different type of thinking too much. I guess there's a good thinking too much and a bad thinking too much.
Yeah. Well, in the book, the sex, the part in the book that I talk about sex, before you get to that part, I have the parts about how you keep your body clean. I talk about visualization and meditation, and that is the point that people really need to master, how to visualize and how to keep images in your mind, because it's not so much of thinking while you're having sex, it's more so holding that image of what it is you want while you're having it. So
do you teach classes? Because I can't contain all of this information right now. I'm like, that sounds so good. Things that I want to try, but good Lord. Yeah. But then again, if you get a copy of the book, you can go back and reread it like I'm going to have to do, because there's a lot of understanding that I need. You deal a lot with the universe.
Yeah. You
deal a lot with our spiritual selves as opposed to the emotional things. So Azizah encompasses so many different aspects, elements of who and what we are, and understanding, which is why the art of being a woman is so important and necessary for each and every one of us to read, men included, because you want to understand your woman, you want to understand what she's thinking, you want to be able to help her to progress and get to where she needs to be, so that your relationship can be on point.
And her success is your success. And so every brother should be uplifting and wanting his woman to be the best that she can be, because if you love what women can do for you now in the state that we are in, just imagine what we can do for you when we are at our highest.
We know better.
We can change the world, basically. And so with the book, it's everything covered. It's not just about sex. It's just about accepting yourself and knowing more about yourself. We go into the different, foods, eating healthy. That's a really big thing. Why do we emotionally eat? We talk about chakras, visualization, meditation, how you can attract more money, poverty consciousness. I even have a section where I talk about death. And, a lot of times we are stuck in the places that we're in because we're afraid to die. So because of that fear, we don't even want to do anything. We just get caught into a place where we just want to live and just survive and take it day by day. And we never just really take that risk or that chance to want to live our life and see what life is, what life is about. So the book has a lot of information, not just sex, but it's a really good book that I even encourage teenagers who have been, I would say, who do have a knowledge of sex. I don't want any teenager.
There's also a part in here about healing from sexual trauma.
Yes.
So if you have experience, and I know sexual trauma can happen at a young age. Because, I'm a living witness. So not that I'd be reading this book at 5, which is when mine started, but, if you have any experience with sex at all, and even if you're at that point in your life where you're becoming curious, there are things we need to know as young women. If we start them off when they're young and teach them those things, then they will be much better women than we are.
Yeah.
Because I'm not figuring this stuff out for many, 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 many decades. And Azizah is in her 20s, and thank goodness somebody figured it out, so now you can teach the rest of us.
And I've learned from the ladies, there's so many women out there who teach this stuff, and I learned from them, like the Queen Afuas, the Ayalosa Olaomis, or there's so many, Nubia Sutton, these beautiful, powerful women who share this information. I just took what I've learned from them, what I've experienced, and just what the Most High has given me to share, and put it in a way that people can get it.
Now let me clarify something, or please clarify for me, I should say. I'm listening to you, and a lot of people who are extremely religious, I guess, or extreme Christians, or whatever the case may be, when you're speaking, please clarify that this book is like a non-denominational. I guess you don't have to.
It's a non-denominational. You can be a Christian and read this book and get something from it. You can be a Buddhist. You can even be an atheist. It doesn't. I don't want you to believe or follow anything I'm saying. I just want you to get the information out of it, so you can use it to better your life. Because you bettering your life is going to help better the lives of everybody else, and that's the whole point that we want to get across. We want everybody to do good. We want everybody to reach their fullest potential, because that, changes the world.
Yeah, so it's not Satanistic or anything like that. We're not, telling you to light candles.
Yes. And I even have a chapter when I talk about the power of prayer in the book, because prayer is something, I've learned this. I took a course called, it's called a black witchcraft class taught by High Priestess Ayalosa Olaomi, and she teaches, the 5 traits of a woman, and it's, 1, the power of incantation, which is prayer, the power to be able to bring things into existence by what you're speaking. And so prayer is a very, very important tool for any woman to master, because we can speak things into an existence. We are constantly, my kids are getting on my nerves. Why you wondering why your nerves bad? I can't stand them. You're speaking all of this stuff. And so with the power of prayer, it kind of teaches you how to, use that power of the tongue to help draw you towards the things that you want. So, it's non-denominational. It's nothing crazy, but I talk about that kind of stuff in the book, Prayer is good.
There's something for everybody. You're going to get something out of this.
Yeah.
Something. And when you do, I'm going to need you to go back to the website and you send us a little information and let us know what you got from the book, and what you didn't and what you'd like to get out of it. And remember, this is a part of a trilogy.
Yes, this is the first book of 2. The second book, I don't have titles for them yet. I don't know if that'll be The Art of Being a Woman, blah, blah, blah. But this first book is kind of like an overview of just, the topics that I want to get across. And the next 2 books will go into detail on some of the more interesting topics within a book that people will want to know more about.
Okay, well that sounds good to me. I'm so glad you explained this. You clarified this photograph. Yes. So again, men, buy the book, you keep the picture, get a book to your girlfriend. I'm kidding. Where do we both look?
All right, you can get the book at 2 places. You can visit the Natural Woman web store by visiting www.asknaturalwoman.com, or you can get it on Amazon, or you can just Google it and it'll tell you where you can get it from. And we're also, pretty soon, we'll have the book in a bookstore near you.
Awesome sauce. That's what I'm talking about. Make sure you write to all your favorite bookstores and let them know you need them to pick this up, so that you can just walk in and get it and you don't have to wait for mail delivery. Who does that? All right, Azizah Nubia, thanks so much for hanging out with us on Keep It Real, or Just Keep It.
Thank you for having me.